For millennia, the moon has been more than a light in the sky. It's been Earth's quiet companion, guiding tides, marking time, and anchoring life itself. But what if it vanished? Suddenly, without warning. The moon's disappearance wouldn't just dim our nights, it would unbalance everything. Ancient cultures worshipped it for a reason. They sensed its power long before science confirmed it. Remove it and tides shift, climates falter, ecosystems collapse. So now ask yourself, how fragile is the balance we never question? Let's uncover the truth. What happens to Earth when the moon is no longer there? Tides would collapse. You ever walked along a shoreline and watched the ocean breathe? That gentle in and out rhythm we take for granted is orchestrated by one silent, glowing partner in the sky, the moon. If the moon suddenly vanished, that pulse would flatline. Earth's tides wouldn't disappear entirely, but they'd shrink down to just a third of their current strength. Why? Because the sun would be the only force left trying to tug at our oceans. And frankly, it's not as effective. That means no more massive high tides, no more dramatic low tides, and no more tidal surges crashing against the shorelines. But here's where it gets really wild. Marine life would suffer immediately. Countless creatures, from tiny crabs to giant sea turtles, time their entire lives around the moon. Some fish spawn during specific tidal windows. Coral reefs rely on the flow of water to deliver nutrients, and ecosystems built on the dance between land and sea would just stop functioning the way they do now. The disappearance of tides wouldn't just change the coast, it would collapse coastal food chains, wipe out breeding cycles, and send shockwaves up the global ecosystem. So next time you hear the tide rolling in, remember, that's the moon quietly holding Earth's heartbeat steady. Earth's axis would wobble. Ever wondered why we have spring, summer, fall, and winter? And not just total chaos every year? It's not just Earth's tilt, it's the moon keeping that tilt stable. Take the moon out of the equation and Earth starts to act drunk. Without its stabilizing force, our planet's 23.5-degree tilt would be free to wobble over thousands or even just hundreds of years. That might not sound terrifying, until you realize that even small shifts could send our climate spinning out of control. We're talking frozen tropics and melting poles, monsoons where deserts once baked. Imagine Alaska basking in tropical weather while the Sahara gets snow. And this isn't science fiction, it's backed by geophysics. Planets like Mars don't have large moons, and their tilts swing by as much as 60 degrees. Without the moon, Earth could follow the same path. One century, London might be buried in glaciers. The next, it could face relentless heat waves. Civilizations thrive on predictability. Farming, water cycles, even migration patterns depend on stable seasons. Remove the moon and you don't just shuffle the climate, you dismantle everything humanity's built around it. So yeah, that quiet rock in the sky, it's the unsung hero of every picnic, harvest, and snowball fight you've ever enjoyed. Wildlife would lose its rhythm. Every night, thousands of baby turtles break through their sandy nests and sprint toward the ocean, guided by one thing, the soft glow of the moon. But if that light suddenly vanished, so would their direction. And it's not just turtles. Across the globe, a hidden world of wildlife dances to the moon's beat. Creatures that hunt, migrate, mate, and survive based on its glow and gravitational pull. Take nocturnal animals like owls, bats, and insects. The brightness of the moon influences how and when they move. Moths navigate by moonlight, and without it they spiral into confusion. Predators that rely on silhouettes under the moonlit sky, their hunting strategies collapse, and prey that hide in darkness, they lose the cues that signal safety. The result, a food web slowly tearing at its seams. Even the ocean pulses with lunar rhythm. Corals of those beautiful underwater cities time their mass spawning to moon phases. Frogs sing louder during full moons to attract mates. Wolves howl not randomly, but often in sync with lunar cycles. The moon is an ancient biological clock etched into nature. Remove it, and we're not just losing a rock in space, we're breaking centuries of evolution's programming, and that kind of silence? It would echo through every forest, ocean, and desert on Earth. Ocean currents and climate patterns would shift. If the moon disappeared, it wouldn't just be about tides fading or nights growing darker. The real chaos would swirl beneath the surface, in the very currents that cradle our climate. Tidal forces, heavily influenced by the moon, help stir the ocean like a giant planetary spoon. This movement isn't random. It circulates warm water from the equator to the poles and pulls cold water back down. That gentle churn is what keeps our world's climate balanced. Now take away the moon and that system slows dramatically. Ocean circulation would weaken. Without strong tidal mixing, deep waters would stratify, trapping nutrients at the bottom and choking surface ecosystems. Entire species of plankton, the very foundation of the marine food web, could collapse. And when they fall, everything else follows. From fish to whales, from local fishermen to global seafood industries, all disrupted. But that's just the start. As oceans lose their power to transport heat, regional climates could swing violently. Coastal cities might flood from unexpected currents. Others might dry into salt-swept wastelands. Rainfall patterns would shift. Droughts could hit fertile zones while floods drown deserts. The moon's invisible hand has been shaping Earth's weather for billions of years. Take it away, and Earth stops whispering balance and starts screaming chaos. night skies would darken. Walk outside on a clear night, and even if you can't see a single star, there's one thing you always expect to find: the moon. It's more than just a celestial ornament. For thousands of years it's been our guide, our calendar, our quiet guardian. But if it vanished tonight, something far deeper than darkness would take its place. Without moonlight, nights would turn ink black, not just for rural areas, but even in cities where artificial light struggles to reach beyond tall buildings and empty fields. For millions who live where streetlights are rare, the moon is the only source of light after sunset. Its disappearance would plunge entire communities into unfamiliar shadow. And this isn't just poetic, it's practical. Farmers in many parts of the world use moonlight to harvest. Ancient navigators used it to steer their ships. Even today, astronomers plan observations around the moon's brightness. For wildlife, it's even more critical. Mating, feeding, migration, all sync to its presence. Humans evolved under moonlit skies. Poets found verses in its glow. Lovers shared silences beneath it. Now imagine those nights stripped of their soul. The darkness wouldn't just be outside, it would feel internal, like losing a friend who never spoke but was always there, shining softly, faithfully. Earth's rotation and timekeeping would be affected. We don't often think about the moon when we check our clocks or calendars, but maybe we should. Every second you experience, the pace of your heartbeat, your sleep cycle, even the ticking of satellites above, has a silent partner in the moon. It's been gradually slowing Earth's rotation for billions of years, turning our once 6-hour days into the 24-hour rhythm we know today. Now remove the moon. Instantly that braking force vanishes. Earth would keep spinning, possibly faster over time. Days would grow shorter, subtly but inevitably. And that seemingly small change, it would unspool everything we've calibrated to time. From biological clocks in your body to entire global systems of technology. GPS accuracy would falter, weather prediction models would break. Even the International Atomic Time, which keeps our digital world in sync, could drift off course. And then there's the human body. Our circadian rhythm isn't just tuned to light, it's aligned with the 24-hour cycle shaped by the moon's tug. As days shorten, sleep disorders could rise. Productivity could dip, our very sense of when could blur. So while we think of time as man-made, it's deeply lunar in nature. And if the moon went missing, we wouldn't just lose a satellite, we'd lose our tempo, our anchor in the cosmic metronome that keeps Earth dancing in time. Cultural identity and human imagination would erode. For millennia, the moon has not only shaped oceans and calendars, it has shaped us. Its presence is etched into myths, religions, literature, and art across every civilization on Earth. Imagine removing that symbol overnight. The cultural fallout would be just as profound as the environmental one. From ancient lunar gods like Selene, Chandra, and Tsukuyomi, to sacred rituals aligned with full moons, humanity's spiritual life has orbited around that pale light. Poets have wept beneath it, painters have chased its glow across canvas, lovers have sworn eternal vows under its gaze. The moon isn't just a rock in the sky, it's a muse, a storyteller, a timekeeper of emotion and myth. If it were to vanish, entire belief systems and symbolic frameworks would lose a cornerstone. Festivals would be thrown off cycle. Lunar New Year's, Ramadan, Easter, all calculated in part by moon phases, would fall into confusion. And what replaces that shared cultural reference point? Artificial light and digital time? More than practical loss, this would be a blow to human imagination. How many stories, lullabies, and dreams were born because of moonlit nights? In a world without the moon, future generations might grow up missing that quiet mystery, the universal symbol of wonder, longing, and reflection. Without the moon, we wouldn't just lose science, we'd lose a piece of our soul. The moon may seem distant, but its absence would shake the very core of life on Earth. From tides to time itself, everything we rely on would begin to shift. So next time you look up, remember, that glowing sphere is holding more together than we realize. If this blew your mind, just wait for what we uncover next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another mind-bending journey through science, space, and beyond. Only here on InnoVision Tech.